Queen's Park's loss could be Scott Brown's again as Ayr United look set to join up with Celtic as part of the new SFA cooperation system. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. There's a new system in town, and it is known as the SFA cooperation system, which essentially allows players to leave their parent club to go to their kiddie club with no ties, no strings attached, as many times as you want per season. So this is not a loan move where you're loaned and then you're committed unless that loan is cancelled. This is a move, this is a setup, this is a system that can allow you to literally switch teams 10, 15, 20 times a season, which I think could be a bit of a mess, but it is being brought forward to try and improve Scottish football, to try and get younger players in the top flight more game time. If it works, then great, but right now I'm not too sure.
I don't really like it.
Seems messy.
Yeah, it is messy and it's no line, I'll put it that way, but I just don't really understand why. I think it's interesting, it's something new, it's something refreshing, but like you pointed out, like 20 times, like, oh, he's going to play for Ayr this weekend. Oh, but we might need you next weekend. Oh, but then there's a game midweek. You can come back for that. It's like, whoever these guys are they ever going to feel included to either team? There's always going to be like a sense of like being dissociated with them.
Pretty much. It's a bit of a strange one, but yeah, Celtic have ditched their cooperation agreement with Queen's Park and have decided they're going to go with Ayr United instead. Now, the Premiership champions had forged a link with their Glasgow neighbours and they were looking to make this partnership happen, but for some reason, Queen's Park basically just pulled out the deal. They couldn't do it because of their financial situation. It looks like they're trying to cut costs and they're trying to cut their spending by over £1 million this year after spending £5.7 million in the second tier last year. However, I don't know why this would affect Queen's Park when it comes to this cooperation agreement. As far as I'm aware, I've not seen any financial costs, that especially towards the smaller teams, lower league teams, because all the wages are covered by the big clubs. So therefore, if Queen's Park agreed to go ahead with this Celtic deal and Celtic sent out 3 of their players to Queen's Park for like 2 months, Queen's Park would not be able to pay those wages. So I'm a little bit unsure as to why Queen's Park have not went ahead with it. Maybe they just felt it was another headache they didn't need. You know, maybe they're just trying to get their finances in order and they want to focus on their own squad and their own squad size, focus on their own players rather than having to bring in or maybe be relying on players from other teams. But as far as I'm aware, it doesn't cost the smaller club, the lower league club, anything.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be beneficial for the smaller clubs if it was costing them like decent amount of money, really. I mean, that's the whole point it's been brought in, to avoid this sort of thing, but I think we'll probably quickly find out how ridiculous it's going to get. I mean, Celtic aren't the only club. I've seen Aberdeen. They're doing it, I believe, with Elgin City, and I want to say Cove Rangers. But either way, it's like, how many clubs are you allowed to be like a feeder to?
I think you're allowed multiple. I don't think there's any limit.
I don't know, man. I think this just sounds like a bit of a mess to me.
Yeah, we could see the lower leagues. We could see the Championship, League 1 and League 2 literally filtered with like so many Premiership young players.
Well, what I would say is, I think an automatic positive is,
could it improve the quality overall?
Improve the quality, absolutely,
of the pyramid? I mean, potentially. I think it could do that.
But again, I know you won't really complain if you support that team and they win the league or whatever, right? But you could be looking at a situation where your entire team almost is fucking made up of these like loans, and then come the end of the season, it's like, well, if they're too good, they're not coming back to you.
Exactly. Yep.
Because normally you see that. I think it's a rule right now.
But it's not even like a loan. It's not even like a thing where they're committed to a year. Like Celtic could maybe loan out. Let's say they get another partnership. Let's say with Bonnie Rigrose. They could lend out some player to Bonnie Rigrose and he has a couple of games and he's playing fantastic, and then they decide, hold on here, he's too good for League 2, we're going to loan him out to the Championship instead. So it's not like you're not even getting them for the guaranteed year. like a normal loan. I don't think it's a smaller club. I think you run the risk of bringing in too many of these players with this SFA cooperation system, and then maybe getting them taken away from you after only a few weeks or a month because they're turning out to be too good and overperforming in your league. It's not like a normal loan where the likelihood is you've got that guy for the full season. If you got a player from a top flight team and they're performing too well, the reality is that top flight team's going to be like, oh, you know what? He's too good for that level. We're going to take him back and maybe loan him out to a championship team instead of a League 2 team or a League 1 team. So
it just feels like a shitey co-op meal deal, doesn't it? Ever had a co-op meal deal? They do nice wee chicken skewers, but for the most part they're pretty pish. And it's like a cooperation agreement. I think we're going to quickly find out how much a mess this is.
I think we could see teams get left very unbalanced just due to the fact there could be multiple players getting moved around every week. I mean, you could be getting a player like Celtic could like loan Ayr United a player, and you maybe get an Ayr United fan might get the name of that player on the back of their shirt, and then 2 weeks later Celtic's like, fuck, we're taking him back. He's never going back to you guys, and then that's it. He's gone. He's done. He's finished. To me, I don't agree with the fact that they can just constantly switch back and forward. Yeah, I don't mind parent clubs and feeder clubs and whatnot and loaning players out, but to me, a player that can literally switch between Celtic and Ayr United like 5, 10, 15 times a season.
I mean, what you could see
that's very strange.
Is somebody like a Callum Osmond who, say, they want him to get up to speed, right? Ayr, we're going to give you this guy for 2 weeks just to get him up to speed. And he's going to be a massive step above the championship, I think.
Yeah, but it's not like Celtic are going to say up front, we'll give you him for 2 weeks. Yeah, could get the guy, think, all right, we've got this guy for a while, and then before you know it, he's pulled and recalled or whatever, and you never get him back. But Celtic are reportedly set to send 3 of their top stars to Ayr United with this official tie-up happening, and it's going to benefit Scott Brown. He's going to be looking to try and push Ayr United to a championship title this season, so that's going to help him. If he can get young, talented Celtic players in the door, then that's great. And the fact that you don't have to pay their wages, it's essentially free signings. Well, with the only downside is you literally do not know how long you're getting them for. Could be 1 week, could be 1 month, could be the entire season. But you don't know what you're getting. So we could see a lot of teams and a lot of squads get left reeling. We could see teams playing really well throughout this season and then randomly have like periods where they drop off. And then on the other side, you could see teams being shite, but then they could form a partnership with a top flight club, and before you know it, they get 4 or 5 players in, and then their form could drastically turn around. So to me, it's definitely going to unbalance things. It's unbalanced stuff, and it's going to make it more unpredictable.
It's a curveball, and you know what? I'm for the league experimenting, but I think we'll quickly find out it's a bit of a mess. And I think we can all agree on that. It's not very clear.
Yeah, so the new co-op system enables players aged 16 to 21 who are eligible to represent the Scotland national teams to join a lower league club. However, they are still free to move between the parent and the cooperation club throughout the season to increase playing time, with the parent club paying the salary of the player. Ayr United, who have already set up their own co-op deal with East Stirling, were able to utilise the system last night by recalling Lucas McRoberts, Jamie Hislop and Kenzie Mitchell for their Premier Sports Cup clash with Annan. So Ayr had loaned out these 3 players to East Stirling as part of this co-op deal, but used them last night with their Premier Sports Cup clash against Annan. So it's strange. Like, I don't want to bash it. I respect them for trying something new and trying something different. But I mean, I just don't know if this is going to be the right thing going forward. But the trio all did come on and they played their part, and McRoberts did score in Ayer's 6-1 win. So I mean, this is a guy that, like I said, was playing for East Stirling and then has came back and he's actually contributed to a goal for Ayr United. So, I mean, it's strange. We've never really seen anything like this where they can just move free willingly between clubs. And that's it. I mean, after last night's game, these 3 are probably way back to East Stirling.
But it's just weird to me, though, because it's like they obviously didn't need them against Annan, but they went, here, Annan are quite a bit below us, so what we're going to do is bring them in. and give them a bit of time. But those three guys probably, well, I say probably, they would have guaranteed be featuring for Sterling.
But it's like Leon King, for example. Say Rangers loan him out to Hamilton Academico, and Hamilton Academico are going for the title, and he's their star player. They could have a big match, and then Rangers all of a sudden could get injuries to John Suter and Proper, and then all of a sudden they're like, actually, see, this week we're going to bring Leon King back. And then Hamilton are just left there standing like, well, what the fuck are we going to do? You've just taken our best player off us. But at the end of the day, there's nothing they can do because they don't really have a leg to stand on. It's not their player. They're not paying his wages or anything like that. At least with a loan deal, right, you've got that player to the end of the season. And I get it, right? Players can be recalled on the loan, and I think sometimes it did result in a fee. But a lot of times loan deals would only be recalled if it was drastic.
Yeah.
But that's not the case. See, with this, you can literally just bring a player back for one game. It's not like you're cancelling the entire loan. So I do think overall this will... It's got potential to hurt the smaller teams because like the bigger teams would only really recall a loan if it was absolutely necessary. But now it's like you can just do this at free will. It's like no big deal. We'll recall him this week, but we'll give you him back 2 weeks later. And I just do think it could disrupt the smaller teams where it's hard to build a team. It's hard to, have a starting 11 if you've got a lot of players from top flight clubs that are constantly being pulled away from you for 1 week to another. But we'll see.
No, I totally agree, but I do like them experimenting, man. It's like the same with the 12-team league going to 16 or 18. I like to see changes. There's no point being stagnant and there's no point keeping things the same. And yeah, it may be a bit crazy, and some people might argue, well, you don't broke what's not, you don't fix what's broken. But end of the day, let's get it going.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. That's it, guys.
That's the one.
Let us know your thoughts down below, and we'll catch you in the next one. Till then, peace.